Welcome back. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Nick. Here we have Chris Studer, owner and founder of Get Real and the Get Real movement. And we'll get back to you after this commercial break. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to Keeping It Real with Nick. Here we have Chris Studer, owner and founder and host of his own show, Get Real and the Get Real movement. So Chris, I understand that you were one of the founding members in an organization called Get Real. Can you tell us what Get Real is about?
Definitely. So Get Real is a youth-focused nonprofit organization. So our mission is to energize LGBTQ+ youth, so lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, etc. youth, and their allies to voice their stories in schools across North America. So we began at Western University in 2011, inspired through the O-Week team, or the Orientation Week program. So basically we were all Welcome Week leaders, and we had really good experiences working with our first year students on inclusive language. So,
And how's that going for you?
Yeah, exactly. So we were friends with these students. It was our job to welcome these students to the university. And when we'd hear language, like homophobic language, things like that's so gay, stuff like that, we would talk to our students because we were trying to build a welcoming environment for everybody. And we found that being close in age, opening up a little bit about ourselves, taking a really kind of friends first approach, really worked well. We would see kind of on the one hand, a ton of students adjusting their language, changing their language right away, talking to us about their attitudes and how they're thinking about this in a new way. And then on the other hand, tons of students telling us that they felt more comfortable at Western being themselves. Tons of students coming out to us as lesbian, gay, bisexual, etc. So we kind of thought those are two results that are really meaningful. If this could be translated into a high school or a middle school environment, that could be a really worthwhile thing to pursue. So myself and 3 friends, we decided some LGBTQ+, some allies. I'm straight. But we kind of decided, if we could even make it back to our old high school, that could be really cool to kind of share some of our experiences. So that became Get Real. And we're a nonprofit organization right now. We've spoken to almost 100,000, or over 100,000 students across Canada. We speak from coast to coast. We have university chapters who do work in their own universities. And we just started an after-school program right here in Toronto for 25 LGBTQ+ youth between middle school and high school age, focused on skill development. So it's been a really great ride, and really happy to be here talking about it with you.
Thank you. And I bet that is going really well right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting road. This is something that we all got into because we were just really passionate about giving back and doing our small part, and we never expected it to take off or grow like it has. But so it's going extremely well, but it's been a lot of learning along the way, a lot of figuring things out on the fly, a lot of teaching ourselves difficult lessons sometimes. It's definitely helped us grow up, having staff and having people to manage, and it's been a lot of learning. But no, it's going really great right now. We have a program and a service that we offer high schools, middle schools, summer camps, universities, different companies that we're very proud of. So yeah, it's something that we love doing every day.
That's good for you. What inspired you to start this amazing organization?
So there are a couple of things. So in terms of, on a personal level, working in that, like I said, that O-Week program, I think the first thing that really just kind of inspired all of us who were part of it at the start was just the fact that we were really doing it. So, it's encouraging to, be working with first years on the ground, face to face, and seeing those really great results. So that, to me, said, I do have the ability to communicate this to someone in a way that does open their mind. And part of that kind of stems from some personal experiences, kind of from me growing up. And those are some of the things that I would share with my students. So a couple of the things, when I was in sort of grade 7, grade 8, I'm from Toronto, that's how we know each other. So I went to an all-guys private school for middle school. It was a very homophobic environment at that time. This would have been kind of 2003, 2004. And I was very much, one of those students. The language that I used was like the language I talked about before that my first years were using, that's so gay, things like that. Even though growing up, as a black kid in a very white neighborhood in Toronto, despite that, still kind of, perpetuating language that, didn't make people feel good at school, kept people in the closet, things like that I didn't really understand at the time. But a lot of really positive experiences happened. One being that OE program, another being, for us as, a group of guys who spent a lot of time at your house hanging out, in Kenny's basement. Nick's
making a mess.
Nick's younger brother is one of my best friends from way back. Your journey especially, when you came out, that was a huge eye-opener for us. For me, I distinctly remember really thinking about, for the first time, the language that I was using, especially when I was at your house. So that really kind of got the wheels going. And I had another really great experience after grade 12. I renovated the house of one of my old customers from an old store I used to work at, a butcher shop. And he was gay, so it was him and his partner, and they were selling their house. So I spent 9 to 5, every day over the summer job with the two of them. And they were some of the nicest employers I've ever had. They were so good to me, and that was really, really great for me, kind of, with my language, with, just growing up. So by the time I got to university, by the time I had the opportunity to start Get Real, those were some of the experiences that I was sharing with my first year students. And then I guess the last thing was I lived with a group of 8 guys in university for 3 years, 5 guys from home, 3 guys who met at Western. And one of my roommates came out when I was at university. One of them came out the year after university. So I kind of also saw Get Real as something that all 8 of us could go to. The events, we could all go as a house. You didn't have to, identify it, as anything, to be a part of Get Real. And that was right from the get-go. Myself and one of my co-founders, who only kind of came out after, after high school, we both kind of said to each other, let's build something that everyone could be a part of and everyone could kind of lend, their own story to. So I definitely saw an opportunity that my house could go and we could start having some of those conversations within our house as well. I think those would be working with working with first year students. My experiences growing up with kind of unlearning some of that homophobic language myself, and some of the people who inspired me, like you.
Thank you.
And then also my roommates, wanting to create something that we could go to as a house and kind of start some of those conversations. Because I really, those are 8 guys that I've lived for 4 years. I love them to death, and so I really want to do that for them too.
Well, that is very good for you. I'm glad you start that up. I'm happy that you're getting somewhere with it all. And I'm very happy that you're on the show with me today.
Me too, Nick. Yeah.
When did Get Real and what changes or evaluation of you seen in the Get Real movement since it began?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, this began at like 4 students. We had no clue what we were doing. We were very passionate, and we had some great branding. We had these great neon pink hats. So we had a little business model for how we were going to pay for gas money to get to high schools and stuff. And we had a really friendly organization that a lot of people were really excited about. But none of us had a business background or anything like that. So as Get Real's evolved, we've incorporated as our own nonprofit. We work with tons of different corporate partners. We have university chapters spread out all across Canada. It's definitely become an organization that has become more professional. The other thing is we work with, grade 5s and right up to grade 12s in Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, BC, Alberta. And the workshops are fairly simple and from the heart. That's kind of the core of what we do, inclusivity workshops, going into high schools, sharing the kind of stories that I shared with you just now.
Yeah.
But that work is very delicate as well. That's a lot of trust that teachers put in us, and principals and superintendents who have us into their school board. They trust that we are going to be responsible with the service that we're providing and do a good job and show up on time and bring a mature professional service. So I think that's a huge change, is really as we've grown up, and myself and my two colleagues, Max and Marley, the three of us run Get Real full time out of Toronto. We've really worked on building an organization that not only is exciting and kind of still has that grassroots, excitement from when we started it, but it also has it's an organization that we're proud to stand behind. It's professional. People can enter the organization because people reach out all the time to get involved, and it's organized enough that people have a good experience. People can learn skills. Lots of reference letters that we write and stuff like that. So that I think is the biggest thing. Really building an organization that's professional. And some other fun things have come out of it too. We have a full clothing line. I tossed you a shirt before. So that's been really fun. Like I said, we had these pink hats when we started. That's really evolved into a full clothing line.
I actually remember that.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been a really fun, creative way for people to wear the message, and we ship to customers all over the world. And it's really great. A lot of customers from Mexico, Italy, all over really not only buy our stuff, but they also reach out and email us and share their own story with us. So that's really special. It's a great way to connect with people. And like I said, there's new parts of Get Real that we never even thought were possible when we started. This after-school program that we're running for 25 LGBTQ plus youth in the GTA. That's a pilot project that we're running this year. It's going fantastic. Really, really fun. So that's a new part of Get Real. So we're always looking to do new things. But I'd say professionalism, the clothing line, and a couple of new areas. That's kind of how Get Real's evolved.
So how is the clothing line coming?
It's going really great. We just did a shoot yesterday actually for a big kind of fall-winter launch. And it's very, very fun to get to design things. It means we get to work with...
Yeah, that fashion.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. We get to work with a lot of celebrities and professional sports players, and it's really great. It's an awesome opportunity for people to get involved beyond sort of the workshops and the chapters, because a lot of that's kind of focused around high schools and universities. So there's a lot of people who want to get involved and want to support, but they might not be in high school or university, or they might not even be in Canada. So it's a great way for other people to get involved. It also helps fund the program too.
And speaking of that, I'm also on to the TIFF next year.
Hey.
As a credit addition to the Disability Channel and for Keepin with Nick.
Right, no, I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Congrats, that's fantastic.
That's good that's very educational to find that out about you. So, can you tell us who were your role models and why?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my big role models is my grandpa. He passed away about 5 years ago now, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. It's okay. Amazing guy, such a inspiring guy who's extremely generous. He went through some really difficult times through his childhood. He fought in the Second World War. He built his own insurance company, and just the most generous, kind, caring person, a great grandpa, someone I always looked up to.
Actually, same here with me, with my grandparents and
Yeah.
my grandfather.
I don't think I've
Both
ever.
of them, actually.
I don't think I've ever met them, but I've heard
Yeah.
great things. Yeah.
Get Real spends a lot of time speaking to students. Can you tell us about your experience as a student, and if those experiences made you think of starting an organization like Get Real?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, the experiences, my experiences as a student who, used harmful language, like the kind I talked about, and then also my experiences at university with, friends, really close friends, coming out to me and really teaching me a lot. Those are experiences that I'll bring to the classroom and I'll share with young people. And in terms of the students that we reach and that we talk to, I mean, we've spoken to so many students from all different Catholic schools, private schools, public schools, rural schools, downtown, urban schools. I think the thing that we've really, obviously Get Real is about combating, prejudice and stereotypes.
Yeah.
But even if there are any stereotypes that I've had, before Get Real, about small towns, about different, about judging, a book by its cover.
Yeah, maybe that's about by its cover.
Yeah, I have absolutely none of those. We do an exercise with students called Grateful versus Challenging, where students will write down anonymously something that they're grateful for and something they find challenging. And this expands to race, religion, abilities, economic status, mental health, lots and lots of different areas, and the facilitators will share as well. And reading these out in all different types of schools all across Canada, different age groups, it's amazing. It really goes to show everybody deals with stuff. And so often we don't know, right? Just meeting someone or talking to someone on the street. It's so important to be kind, whenever possible. But I absolutely never judge a book by its cover anymore, because I've read and heard so many things that you'd never guess this kind of stuff people go through. And I think we can all kind of, connect with each other on that in some level. Everyone
Sure.
could use some kindness. Everyone could benefit from putting themselves in the shoes of other people. And we really believe that's a really great way to combat prejudice and stereotypes, and the results we've seen from our workshops have really shown that to us.
That's really good to know that. Thanks, Chris. Chris, I understand that you are a musician.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about that and what music brings to your life?
Yes, so I play the drums. I've been playing drums since I was in grade 5. I love all different genres of music, metal, rap, everything. Music for me right now, it's given me a lot of great times. Right now, what music offers to me is a really nice break from, a very rewarding job, but also at times a very chaotic and demanding job. Get Real is really doing a lot with a little, and it's a lot of hustle and a lot of long days and long nights and early mornings. So when I get a chance to play drums and jam out with a couple of friends, it's very therapeutic. I absolutely love doing it, and I look forward to it. So it's kind of a nice break from work.
Me, I love music too, and speaking of drums, my uncle / godfather also plays the drums.
Oh, really? Best instrument.
It's a very good instrument to play.
Yeah.
Chris, you are a longtime friend of my younger brother, Mackenzie, and I believe have had Mackenzie speak on behalf of Get Real at your formal high school. Can you share what that experience was like and how you have gotten your friend involved in the movement.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's been really a special and unexpected thing with Get Real is the amount of friends and people from high school, from middle school, who've reached out since we started Get Real, asking to get involved. That's been really, really special. Kenny was not a surprise. A lot of people have been a surprise, but Kenny is such a great guy and such a leader. And you know, even back in high school, I mean, we went head to head for a student president. I remember.
That's my brother.
Yeah, no, he's someone when he speaks, you know, people listen, and he's such a kind and funny and cool guy. You know, he's a great guy. So when he came back to Melbourne with me, that was very, very special. It was great being back at a place that we spent a lot of time, and also great getting to share our experiences with kind of current students. You know, some of whom, you know, might be using the kind of language that we used to use. Some of whom might be struggling, some of whom might be making a lot of positive change in the school right now. Because that's the thing with going back to Malvern, going back to my old middle school, the changes that have happened in schools has been amazing. There's tons of work to be done still, but it's really inspiring to go back and see, wow, this has changed a lot since we last went here. But yeah, Kenny spoke about, you know, his own experiences. He spoke about you, being inspired by you. He was great, and the students really connected with him.
He is a good person, my brother.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about him. This is true because I do.
Yeah, no, he's a big fan of you too.
And I never thought I'd be his inspiration, but looks like I had touched his life.
Absolutely.
About being gay and having Down syndrome, I feel very blessed that he thinks of me that way, and I'm very happy about that.
Absolutely. He's a huge fan of yours. Didn't know that.
I know he is. He's a very loving brother.
Definitely.
I know that my brother, some of your other friends and supports, have joined Get Real and participated in the Toronto Pride Parade. I've seen the photos, and it looked like a lot of fun. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this past year, Toronto Pride would have been our 6th Toronto Pride, I think, as an organization. So it's, I mean, ever since day one, it's always been a celebration, or kind of a celebration and a culmination of all of the work that we've done starting in September for that school year. So it's a great chance for all of our university chapters and chapter leaders to come together, lots of our volunteers, parents, friends, supporters, and definitely a lot of my high school friends.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's been very interesting and very funny. You know, the first year there were some people, and it's kind of kept growing and growing and growing, and it's been great to see the guys come out. They absolutely love, you know, coming and hanging out at the booth, walking in the parade. It's a really great experience. It's definitely a celebration of having done a lot of work throughout the year that we're really proud of, and it makes me proud to get to walk with those guys because they're great. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. They are really great friends that you have in your life.
They are. I'm very lucky.
You are a very lucky man. If you could be any superhero, who would you be and why?
I think I'd be Superman because I think being able to fly would be awesome. If I was braver, I would do the squirrel jumping. I don't know if you've seen that, where they wear the...
Oh yeah, I think I've seen those.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that, but if I was Superman, you know, I'd get to fly around, and yeah, it'd be very cool.
Well, that's good. Both my program and your organization have the word real in the title.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it's all about, being real.
Absolutely.
And it is about being real in everywhere in the world. It's being real. Being real about anything. Well, with that said, I would like to say thank you, Chris, for being on Keepin with Nick. Thank you for being part of the disability channel with us. And how would the viewers can find you?
Yeah, so Get Real can be found online, thegetrealmovement.com. Our Instagram, our Twitter is @GetRealMovement. Our Facebook is facebook.com/WeGetReal. And our contact info is on the website, but anyone can email info@thegetrealmovement.com. It's the longest email address ever. It's too long. But you can also message Nick as well, get in touch with Nick and he can direct any questions to me. We're always happy to answer questions, or if people want to get involved or anything like that, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions on Facebook and anywhere else.
Yeah.
So with that said, I'd like to say thank you for coming to the disability channel, be a part of Keepin with Nick, and I'd like to say, have a nice and safe journey with the rest of the Get Real people, and have a great, amazing time doing it.
Thank you, Nick.
And have fun with all the workshops that you do.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. And in closing, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks.